And tonight on Lifting the Veil, here we are at Sachs Bridge in beautiful Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. During the Civil War, many soldiers crossed this bridge to their death. Tonight we will be bringing the Herb Street method here to make contact, to help those soldiers find their way home. As always, everything is brought to you in real time. We hope you enjoy tonight's episode. So here we are at Sachs Bridge. Just think how many thousands of soldiers walked through this bridge and found death at the other end. Can only imagine that some of that energy would be left behind.
We're here at Sachs Bridge, also known as the Covered Bridge. This bridge was built in 1852, and it actually was crossed by both parties during the War of Gettysburg. This bridge actually washed downstream during the flood of 1996, and it was brought back and rehabilitated within a year of that time. 90% of it was intact, and they just repaired the rest of it. As recently as the 1930s, there was 900 covered bridges here, and now there's only 3 left in Adams County, with only 200 left in Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Tim.
And I'm Jennifer. We're the leaders of the Whalen Paranormal Group, and we're here with Lifting the Veil. And we're here at Sachs Bridge.
And I'm Caleb Tower. I'm a Civil War reenactor, portray both Confederate and Union. Now, here at this bridge, during the retreat, 3 Confederate soldiers were actually hung on the far end for deserting. And every once in a while, someone will get a weird photo with a body in it or something like that. And it just helps add to the whole eeriness of the bridge at night. They were hung for desertion and were made basically to be an example to the rest.
So they were hung here at the bridge?
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
people say that they see images. Do they actually see the men hanging?
On the photo, it's come up a couple times.
Have you seen?
I personally have not.
Now, did they hang him on the bridge to let the other armies know that if they cross this bridge, this is what's going to happen to them?
No, it was done during the retreat. They retreated back over this bridge out towards Waynesboro and Blue Ridge Summit. And what had happened is while columns were crossing the bridge, 3 soldiers tried to desert.
Okay.
Desert means they tried to run away, basically. And they were caught and captured. And during a time of war, desertion is punishable by death. And they hung them to make an example at to the rest of the Confederate Army that if you run, this is what will happen to you.
And these are documented?
These are documented.
you wouldn't happen to know the names of the soldiers that were hung here?
I do not, sir.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
And have you ever had any paranormal experiences at this bridge or here in Gettysburg?
Here in Gettysburg, I've had a number. Over on West Confederate Avenue, behind Longstreet's monument, there's actually a bunch of Confederate reenactors. I thought I'd make a really cool background. So I got out and I took a picture of them. I didn't check the picture until later that night, and a couple of them had been smoking, but it was smoking like cigar and pipe. When I reviewed the photo, the top left-hand corner was all smoke, and when I blew it up on the TV, I put it on a disc and blew it up on my TV, it was a face in it. Well, I took a copy of that picture and I brought it to the monument, and it was Longstreet's face in the smoke.
Wow.
It was pretty creepy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there anything else you've experienced in Gettysburg, or?
All over the place. I mean, yesterday I did Pickett's Charge with some of my friends. We marched from the Virginia Monument to the Pennsylvania Monument, and then back across the retreat. And as we were marching back across the retreat, we had full colors, and There's about 10 of us. And as we got about to the last quarter before the Virginia Monument, we hit a cold spot and it stayed with us. And at first we halted to figure out what was going on, and then we kept going, and it would follow us, almost like it was in step with us in ranks. And then it just disappeared.
Do you have a card or anything like that so we can get in contact with you? We're coming down.
That's fine.
So, no, thank you so much for the story. I mean, definitely good.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Me too. You guys enjoy your stay.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Well, we were down here a few years back, and we were taking still photography on the other end of the bridge, into the bridge, and didn't see anything. Got back over to camp, started going through my pictures, and there's ecto coming out of the bridge in the shape of a horse and a rider, and I mean, it's unmistakable of what it is.
That's great. That's really great.
And then about 6 or 7 years ago was one of the first pictures I'd taken. We were up on Confederate Avenue, and right at Longstreet's statue, there's a sawtooth fence there. We came across a group of about 6 or 7 Confederates leaning up against the sawtooth fence. They were reenactors. We stopped to talk to them, come to find out they were actually from where my wife's from, in Virginia. Talked to them and said, hey, can I take your picture? This would make a really neat screensaver. Yeah, took the picture, didn't pay any attention to it. Later on that night, we brought the picture up. Now, there's nobody smoking. It's a perfectly clear evening. There's no campfires in the area. There's nothing. There's not even any mist, no fog, anything. The whole left side of the photograph is just a swirl of white. And I thought, okay, this is kind of cool. Didn't realize that we brought it home and put it up on the big screen TV, and it looks just like Longstreet's face, right down to the long beard. And it's not the typical, okay, you can find a face in anything. It was very distinctive. And it was just a really new picture. It actually hung in Mark Nesbitt's shop for, probably 4 or 5 years. He just took it down last year or the year before.
Now, have you heard multiple reports of this man's face in pictures? Because you're the second person I've spoken to today.
Yeah, well, General Longstreet that's who Pickett came to before Pickett's charge, to ask for permission to do the charge. General Longstreet did not want to do the charge. He wanted to attack the flanks of the Union troops on the Round Top and out through Seminary Ridge, or Cemetery Hill. He really did not want to attack the Union center at the angle in the copse of trees. He did not want to give George Pickett that order. But Pickett kept running to him like the spoiled little kid he was, saying, I don't want to do it. And finally, Longstreet just never gave the order but acquiesced. Just do it. And Longstreet took a lot of heat for that, although Pickett took the bulk of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Longstreet, I think, is still probably hanging around that area because of the men that he allowed to go to their death up there across the field and into the high water mark.
So how long have you been a reenactor?
About 8 years.
Did you ever notice that activity seems to spark when you're doing a reenaction? Or do you
certain years, yes, certain years, no. Some years we come here and the town almost feels dead. It just you just don't feel it. Other years you come and it has a whole different feeling to it. Some years you come here and you'll hear cannon volleys in the middle of the night. Well, nobody's out shooting cannons in the middle of the night. There's very little night fire goes on. It takes a ton of permits.
Yeah, yes.
You know, you can't even carry weapons into the national park's grounds, let alone rounds. Mm-hmm. And you'll be standing up a little Round Top just about dusk sometimes, and you'll hear a volley. And people just kind of chalk it up, and a lot of people won't pay attention to it. Mm-hmm. But the reenactors, well, you can always tell because they kind of cock their head and they go, okay.
That's great. That's great. And you investigate down here as well.
Right. I've done some investigation just on my own, and it's kind of a hobby. I've done some work up in Connecticut on my own. As a matter of fact, the house I live in, I'm about 90% sure is haunted, and there's activity there. And actually, on a lot of big family events we have at my mother's house, like my twins just graduated high school, and we were over there just before their prom, actually, taking pictures in the living room. And if you look up right above my daughter's shoulder, there's an orb, and it's not your typical dust orb, it's not a bug. This is a self-illuminated, giving off a shadow orb. Right there. We've done that at Christmas. Same thing, right up in the corner, right where Dad would have been standing for a family picture.
Wow.
And that's, my dad died in the house, so we're about 90% sure that's still Dad, just there checking things out, watching over his grandkids.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, we've been at it for a while.
That's good. That's good. Well, I appreciate your time.
You're very
and thank
welcome.
you for the interview.
You're very
It
welcome.
was a pleasure speaking with you.
It's nice speaking to you.
Thanks so much.
Spike in here? I got no spikes.
No spikes down here. You've getting spikes up there?
Yeah, she got one right there. Spikes. Major.
Autofocus major.
If you're here, can you pass your hand in front of this green light, please? Don't be afraid. We're not here to hurt you. Just want to talk to you.
So hopefully you guys enjoy tonight's episode. Thank you.
Our findings for Sachs Bridge is this location is haunted. There are definitely some spirits that are surrounding this location. We caught multiple EVPs in interaction with K2 work. Bipedal footfalls in the woods all around us. When we went after them, there was no one there. We also heard whispering all around us. When we went to investigate, there was no one there. This location is haunted. We will definitely be returning to Sachs Bridge for a future investigation.
Union lost this part. Any spikes yet?
So the reason why we do this, folks, is we try to get a general idea of what normal EMF levels are for Devil's Den here. Now you really shouldn't get any EMF spikes out here unless it's something paranormal, because I don't see any power lines, I don't see any electrical outlets here. It's all stone, it's all grass and gravel. So if we get anything that helps to give credibility to the K2 activity, especially if it's responsive.
Someone must have died here. Oops, this is close.
Any K2 activity?
No, no. Still at 1.5.
Maybe, where is the site where this gentleman lost his life? Right here?
Right back there.
Maybe you want to step into that and see if you get any K2 activity. Explain to them how they can communicate with this device. Channing? Yes.
If you're here and you want to talk to us, you can either speak into this red light or wave your hand in front of this green light. or passed by it.
Explain to him, for yes, how many times you'd like him to pass in front of it. For no, how many times you would like him to pass in front of it.
For yes or no questions, you can make the light go to other, accelerate to other lights. If it's a yes, make it light up once. If it's a no, make it light up twice.
Speaking to this device, we'll be able to hear your voice, seeing that we can't hear it without you.
The K2 spikes, showing that it's not from movement. You just got it there.
Well, he's tapping. I'm tapping him to make
Okay.
sure. Your thing's really sensitive now after he dropped it.
But mine was spiking too.
Yeah. Both were.
Alright, let's go down here and do that.
Okay.
Stay back here a little. And see.
Spike in here.
I got no spikes.
Autofocus major.
If you're here, can you pass your hand in front of this green light, please? Don't be afraid, we're not here to hurt you. Just want to talk to you. You see that?
Yeah?
If you're here, I'm not here to hurt you. Can you pass your hand in front of these green light, please? Thank you. Can you make this light up to how many people are here with you? 4. Is that 4 people us? Once for yes, twice for no. No.
You've got a really weird light source
Where?
right behind you. I don't know. I gotta try to see what that is. Oh, it's the moon. That's what it is.
Who's here? If you're still here, can you pass your hand in front of this green light, please? Don't be afraid. I'm not here to hurt you or anything. We just want to talk. If you're still here, can you pass your hand in front of this green light, please? Alright, keep on walking.
If anyone has any questions, just go to YouTube or MySpace and punch
Are you a little girl?
the Herb Street method.
Maybe we're too close again.
It's called real-time analysis. It's something I've developed. I teach classes. I go all over different museums.
If you want us to back up, can you blink at twice?
I've worked with taps. The guys from Ghost Hunters. You can go on YouTube, punch in Herb Street method with taps. You can see that I'm 100% legit. I've worked with all those guys. I'm in talks with Christopher Moon to do Haunted Times magazine. I mean, this is all legit. Do you want to
If
stop?
you're here, can you touch me?
She's only the
Yeah, but we asked earlier and said it was a man.
But see, this is the thing. You got to think openly. There could be more than one spirit here.
He said
Yeah,
it was
but we
around
asked
here.
if there was more than one. He said.
No, we asked him if he was alone. He
We
said
asked if
no.
he was alone, and he said no. So this is everything you've got to pay attention to. Now you see how weak it is. If this is a little girl spirit, she might not have the strength to move the EMF meter higher or to say something loud. That's clear as day a female's voice. It sounds like a little girl.
Can we hear it
very
again?
emotional sniper who's 14 years at this point. He's a sharpshooter. He's down there. He communicates with me a lot. I get a lot of things I see in the woods and stuff. He moves around for me in the back light. It's amazing. I was just down there earlier today and I could feel his spirit down there. I'd be amazed
Caroline,
to
are
see
you
how
still here?
strong his spirit is because how emotional he
It's
is.
got a weird
Anyone
focus
else,
on
if you
this
guys
thing.
want to take turns, I mean,
Can we hear the
It's got one of those focuses again, the autofocus.
Do you have a light of some kind?
Caroline, do you remember me from last night?
I mean, that's clear as day, undeniable. No one was saying anything. You've got the video backup to prove it, and it blinked when he said that, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Hi, tonight we're here at Sachs Bridge in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and we're with some local boys here. They actually just walked in on us doing a EVP session using the Herb Street method and also a K2 session. They came to have a good time, you know, they're laughing, they think, you know, nothing of this, and they walked into something that has completely opened their eyes, that there is something out there, and it would be best to have them explain to you for themselves how they feel about it. What's your name again?
My name is Nevin Van Artstale.
Okay, and
I'm Chris Kramer.
Greg Hartloff. Randy Stauffer.
okay, and if you want to just tell the story of the previous night, how you came. I mean, you might want to leave some of that out, just about the rods and how you know you didn't really agree with that.
Yeah, last night we came and there's some people here who I'd say are very far from professionals with rods doing their little technique, and I didn't really believe it. Me and my buddies didn't, and I was actually with a different group, and we started goofing around a lot on the bridge, and tonight we came back basically to have a good time again, and ran into these guys and really kind of changed my perspective of it, and I found out I really made the girl mad. But it's definitely a more believable method when you really experience it firsthand.
Is there anything you gentlemen would like to add as far as how you feel about the technique and the method?
Now I heard these guys that came up yesterday, which they were messing around, and now I stood here and actually watched it happen. I believe in it now.
Yeah. Now, just a quick question for yourselves here. I mean, you guys seem like you got a good head on your shoulders. It's not like we're sitting here and I'm saying, oh, I have a feeling, or I'm pulling out these rods and claiming to communicate with the other side. Like I've said before on past episodes, if you could substantiate rods with an EVP and a K2 spike and maybe a shadow person, then maybe I would use rods. I don't particularly like rods just because they can't be substantiated. All it is two metal pieces of things floating in the air, moving side to side to yes to no. How could you prove that to mainstream science? It would never happen. I mean, I feel almost identical to my man here about rods. I just can't put anything into them. Now, if you're using real-time analysis, doing EVP work, doing K2 work, and you're getting voices that were not there, and you're playing it back in real time, I don't know these guys from nothing. I just met them tonight. It's not like I, you know, picked these guys up on the streets and said, okay, you know, some good things about this. I just met them for the first time tonight, and I can honestly tell you that it's really changed them. I mean, he's ready to go out and buy a recorder and start using the Herb Street method tomorrow. You know, so I mean, this is something that needs to be out there. So hopefully you'll enjoy tonight's episode, and these gentlemen are going to be giving us pretty much a guided tour of Gettysburg. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining us tonight, and hopefully you enjoy.
You guys are off in the meeting?
Oh, yeah, we're...
Yep, I'm
Yeah, you don't want to throw me something about this.
I mean,
The same thing.
I felt like I was in the Blair Witch Project.
Well, what's up here? Is up here the battlefield? Is up here the battlefield?
Yeah. Well, this is all about. So.
Why don't we go up on the battlefield now?
Why not?
We can.
Just try to respect these guys. Was it in the woods?
Yo, can you ask, was that smell, you guys doing a campfire? If so, blink it twice.
Should I ask him?
Yeah. Is that you back there? Blink it 5 times.
Ask him if they're doing something. Was the campfire smell we smelled you guys?
Hey, Herb?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Guys here that were standing up there, and you like to join to watch what we do.
Okay. Do you explain this?
Ask if they were like throwing something or whatever.
he said it was him too.
Were you guys throwing something?
There it is again.
That never hit the ground either. That was like up top.
That one never hit the ground. There it is again.
Is that your military base back there that we're hearing?
Can we hear your weapons? Are they your muskets?
Are they your snipers up in the trees? because those ones didn't hit the ground.
Are your muskets hitting the trees?
Oh, okay. Time to go.
Are you guys marching right now?
Do you know that the war's over? Were you on the Confederate side? Light that up 6 times if you're a Confederate soldier. Pass your hand like this 6 times if you're a Confederate soldier.
Sick.
Did you know you lost the war? Yes, you did. You lost the war. You can go home now. Would you like to go home? Can you see a light?
Do you feel lost? Is it because you're out of your own territory?
Can you light that up for how many people are with you?
A fuck ton.
Language, please.
Who's counting?
18, 19, 22.
43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 51.
If there's 51 people with you, light that up 5 times. Thank
Or
you.
do you have any brothers with you? Are there a lot of men under 20?
Are most of them teenagers?
Are you a teenager?
Are you 16?
Light that up for how old you are.
Sixteen, 17.
He's 17.
I'm 17.
I'm 17 too.
That's why they're connected.
If it's 17, blink once.
Thank you.
Are you an only child? Is that a no?
Oh, ask them.
Was that a no? Blink once. Are you the youngest sibling? Do you have any other brothers fighting in the war with you?
How many? 5. Is that right? 5? Thank you.
Do you like that we are working with this group tonight to show them that you are here?